Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Muhaimin bin Zainal. My supervisor is Professor Madya IRTS Dr. Bulan Binti Abdullah, and today I will be presenting about my final year project which entitled Improvement for Production Lines and Safety at TV Production Company. For the summary of the project, it consists of 5 things. The first one is introduction, objective, followed by methodology, expected result, and lastly significance, where all of these 5 things will be discussed later on. Firstly, for the introduction part, where this project will be conducted at Sony MEC601 Malaysia Sdn Bhd, and it is a Japanese company with office in Bandar Baru Bangi located at Selangor. And Sony's primary market is most of the population with items such as mobile phones, video game consoles such as PS2, PS3, PS4, and televisions, Blu-ray players, and also cameras which aim at the consumers. And this product mainly target high net worth individuals, families, young professionals, and also early adopters. Moving to the next slide, which is the literature review, where it consists of improvement activity, high rec, noise level, light level, and also ergonomic. The first one is improvement activity, where Kaizen is a Japanese term that translates roughly as constant improvement, where Imai was the first person who introduced this term Kaizen, where it is a composite word composed of 2 terms, which is Kai and Zen, where Kai means change and Zan for the better. The phrase originates from the Japanese concept of Genba Kaizen, and which translates as continuous improvement, where continuous improvement is a critical component of achieving manufacturing excellence and is crucial in today's competitive economy. The second one is HIRAC, where effective and adequate safety and health management system is critical by providing a safe and healthy workplace in industries. As a result, HIRAC is excellent at identifying, assessing, managing, and mitigating threats that personnel experience. These are parallel with OSHA 1994 goals of securing and protecting workers with potentially harmful conditions. The objectives of HIRAC is to identify all factors that could result in harm to workers, to assess the likelihood of that harm occurring in each case and the severity that could result from the risk, and to let employees organize, implement, and also supervise steps to ensure that risks are appropriately always monitored. And by identifying problems and devising solutions, HIRAC will minimize the number of accidents. The third one is noise level, where noise is defined as any unwelcome sound. It is the most significant occupational hazard in all industries worldwide, and hazardous industrial noise continues to be a significant issue on a global scale. And in 2016, industrial noise-induced hearing disorders were the most frequently reported occupational illness in Malaysia, accounting around 74.5%. And according to the Malaysia Factories and Machinery Act, employees shall not be subjected to noise levels greater than 90 decibel or greater than 115 decibel and peak at 140 decibel at any time. And excessive exposure above the allowable limit should be avoided, and a noise risk management plan should be implemented. The fourth literature review is light level, where the light in the workspace should allow employees to see what they require to perform their jobs comfortably. And additionally, proper lighting produces a lovely ambience and brings good feedback from employees, and this can increase their production and efficiency. But poor lighting affects employees' vision and might result in visual tiredness and discomfort. It can also harm people's health at work, generating symptoms such as eye strain, migraines, and also headaches. Apart from that, inadequate lighting at work can impose high costs on business in the form of lost time due to accidents and injuries, increased absenteeism, and also decreased work efficiency and production. And lastly is ergonomic, where ergonomics aim to reduce tightness and engineering while boosting comfort, productivity, job satisfaction, and safety, because work-related injuries are not unavoidable, but a a well-designed job should not cause harm. Awkward postures are those that, when repeated or for an extended period, it increases the risk of tiredness, pain, or injury. And low back pain is a persistent condition in the United States of America, affecting between 12% to 30% of the population at any given time. And according to OSHA recommendation, an effective control program should include a systematic investigation of the work area to detect, classify, and also eliminate ergonomic hazard. Moving to the problem statement, where in Sony EMCS, there will always be an issue on the production line which will impact production activity and also the machines and worker safety. The first one is the production line is not equipped with a sensor that can determine which station is experiencing a bottleneck. Various work procedures should improve job activity and safety. The third problem is numerous pieces of work equipment need adequate storage and jigs for usage. And lastly, ergonomic factor including posture, noise, and light level must be analyzed to comply with DOSH requirement. The objectives of this project is to analyze the hierarchy on the production line, to analyze the working conditions to reduce ergonomic risk factors and physical hazards such as noise and light levels, and also to propose improvement at production line and safety in the assembly, inspection, and packaging areas in terms of design. For the scope of project, the first one is engineering control, where proposed approach for improving the production lines and ensure the employee safety in the assembly, inspection, and also the packaging area. Second one is light level. By using a digital light level meter, we can determine the illuminance parameter. By DOSH, the data will be compared to the standard parameter. And for the ergonomic, the working posture was analyzed using the Bulan method, and the recommendations for improvement were made using a sample image and a link to purchase for a poor working posture. The fourth is noise level, where a digital sound level meter is used to determine the noise level. It can be demonstrated visually by noise mapping to the highest and minimum sound level. The data also will be compared to the DOSH-defined standard parameter. And lastly, risk assessment and control. By using the hierarchy form, we can establish the level of risk at work and recommend solutions for each hazard encountered. For the project methodology, starting with determining the title for the final project, followed by analyze work activities, where we conduct a site visit to the selected company and we classify the type of production line that was used, the normal activities of the workforce, and all the machinery, materials, and equipment in the company. Next is risk identification, where it is split into two. The first is safety, by using a check sheet for building and machine safety, conduct noise and light level, and also ergonomic, and we propose improvement in the production line. And next is risk assessment, where we analyze production line and all collected data in comparison to the permissible limit established by DOSH, and we propose improvement to the production process. And the next one is risk control, where we design and propose by using engineering control. And lastly is the report writing, where we summarize all of the data, findings, and outcome and complete the FYP project report. Okay, this is the 14 expected result for my final year project. And this is the first activity, which is hierarchy analysis for the production line, where we identify the hazard at the company and we evaluate the hazard and how we control how to overcome the hazard. And these are 6 hazards that we determine currently in Sony EMCS mission. The second activity is using the ruler method to improve the working posture. The problem is the working posture can cause back pain and muscle strain, and we propose to place an anti-fatigue mat and also the worker to wear back support pad. And the impact, it can help to reduce the fatigue and also increase the productivity. Okay, for the third activity is noise level test at the production line, where we want to assess the noise level in the packaging and assembly area, where by analyzing noise level with a digital sound level meter, we can ensure that the data is applied with the DOSH standard. While the fourth activity is light level test at the production line, where it is also similar with the noise level, where we want to assess the light level in the packaging and assembly area. And by analyzing light level with a digital light level meter, we can ensure that the data is compliant with the DOR standard. The fifth activity is improvement on the heatsink installation, where previously no holder to hold the heatsink and it is hard for the worker to remove heatsink from the rack. And we propose to install screw on each corner of the heatsink, and it improves the takt time for heatsink removal from heatsink rack, and also the workers can easily hold the heatsink by holding the screw. And the next activity is improvement on part rack for heatsink storage, where the problem is it is hard for worker to take out the heatsink from the rack, and it can cause bottleneck for heatsink installation. And the lean idea is we create a hole for the heatsink to be easily inserted and removed from the rack, and the impact is it improves the takt time and LOR for the process. The seventh activity is improvement on the manual tape dispenser, where the problem is the manual tape dispenser that we need to adjust the length manually, and also it is not consistent for each tape length. And the proposed idea is we install automatic tape dispenser, where we are using RT7000 automatic tape dispenser, and the impact where it can easily adjustable tape length and also accurate length for each tape. The eighth activity is improvement on the SOP storage at the production line, where the current problem is SOP files can fall easily and insufficient space for each model for each section. And we propose to install round ship SOP storage, and the round file storage is also can be rotated, and the impact is the SOP file will not fall and slip, and it is easy to move anywhere and proper SOP storage. The next activity is improvement on the bottleneck sensor at the production line, where the current problem is it did not have any automatic bottleneck sensor, and operator or supervisor hardly to determine which station caused the bottleneck. And we propose to install the program red LED warning light at each station so we can easier to determine bottleneck station. The next activity is improvement on the manual barcode scanning at packing area, where the current problem is the operator or the worker hard to scan, and it can cause also the scan error, and also the employees can cause back pain. And we propose to install auto scan using RFID system, and it can reduce the job element and no back pain or poor working posture for scanning, and it can improve their take time. Activity 11, which is the improvement on the tape masking at the inspection area, where the problem is it is hard to tape at larger TV inches, and it can cause muscle strain and back injuries. So we propose to install hand packaging tape dispenser. The impact or the potential impact is it is a one-hand tape masking. It can reduce back pain, job element, and also we can reduce the take time for tape masking. The next activity is improvement on the part rack for the production line, where the current problem is it is a fixed part rack, and we cannot adjust with the different height or space, and it is hard to move. And we propose to install roller and adjustable part rack with different height, and it can impact so we can adjust for different height that we need, and we can carry to another place or another station at the production line. The next activity is improvement on the jig for softboard grounding process at the assembly area, where the current problem is the workers need to manually insert the two blocks for grounding softboard, and it is extra job for the worker, and it can cause quality issue. So by designing a jig for holding the softboard during the grounding process, we can reduce the job element during the grounding process, and also we can reduce the quality issue. The last activity is the online production activity checklist and reporting form. The problem is every day, workers must manually collect daily form records. They need to manually input data into the computer, and also the tracing production activity is a bit challenging. So the lean idea is by using a QR code, we can create an online form. So the data can be entered directly into the computer without a form. And also management can track production activity even when they are working from home. And this is the Gantt chart for my final project 1, which is mainly for the final project proposal writing, starting with the project summary until the submission of the FYP 1. And now, this is the Gantt chart for my final year project 2, where it started with the risk identification, assessment and control, and also the FYP report or thesis writing. I think that is all for my final year project proposal presentation. And you can find me by scanning the QR code below, either by using WhatsApp or email. And that's all. Thank you.